Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe.
All right, welcome to episode 140 of CPG Vibes. Hope everyone is doing well. We have some cool topics to talk about today. We're going to be talking about maximizing ROI. ROI, if you don't know what that stands for, but every person that does any kind of business, they know it's return on investment, and also minimizing spending, which is a big topic here to try to make the money go further and to make sure you have a runway with your cash. But before we go into any of those topics or anything else, Wade, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm good. Happy Friday. We're ready to get this show on the road.
Right. Let's get this road on the show. We had some small technical difficulties, but that basically happens on every single episode. So we're used to that by now. So we're rolling with it. Hopefully everyone can hear us, see us clearly. And we're going to go into a couple things to talk about. We're the #1 rated CPG podcast in the world. Make sure to keep us there. Make sure to rate us on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to give us 5 stars there. We also have sponsorship and block rates. So we have discounts from 5%, 10%, 15, 20. It goes up and up and up. We've had some recent sponsors book like literally just a block rate of 10 episodes. If you want to do just one episode at a starter of $350, you can also do that. So make sure to email cpgvibes100@gmail.com if you'd like to reserve potential sponsorship blocks here on the show. We mentioned you in the beginning, middle, and the end. And also we have a prize that you give out as well. So today's sponsor is Rebel Eats, and we'll talk more about them in just a second. A couple other announcements here. You see this beautiful back wall here? You know, that's a lot more beautiful than me and Wade's face. We have different brands on there. Right now we have Wild Tonic, 7T's, Danos, and Mela. Those are all opening up to new brands starting in November. So if you'd like to be on our back wall, it is a sponsorship that runs anywhere from 6 months to 12 months. Make sure to reach out to us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. We have 2 brands that have already taken 2 of the 3 spots. So we have 1 spot left where you can display if you have a beverage, food item, supplement, logo, doesn't matter. If you'd like to be on the back wall, obviously we need to approve it, and we both need to believe in your product. You can be on the back wall, so make sure to email us. We have our ongoing sponsors, right? So we have 2 of them. We have My Way 3PL and Range Me. So I'll go through a little bit about each of our partners here. So we have My Way 3PL, which is a logistics solutions, and born from seeing all the pain points CPG brands go through with other logistics providers. Moving it over here. Looks like I'm looking at the screen now, not looking over here. With a solid foundation of proven results in cost savings and operational enhancement, they offer a true balance of both strategy and execution. Partner with My Way 3PL to streamline your logistics and scale from small to large, or from large to even larger. Go to myway3pl.com/CPG Vibes. It's a landing page. You can fill out all your information, mention CPG Vibes, and you get your first pallet for 1 month free. Again, myway3pl.com/CPG Vibes. Our other sponsor here is Range Me. So, Wade, I think we announced it last episode or a couple episodes ago that they have a contest running where someone can win the premium service valued at $13.99. I would freaking enter if we weren't already clients of Range Me, but this one's pretty damn sweet, if I had to say so myself. That you go to their landing page, which is rangeme.com/CPG Vibes. And you can basically, you fill out the form, no obligation. It just shows that you're interested. And you could potentially, you're entered into a drawing to win a free premium membership for your brand. And I would call this, coming from the brand name Genius Juice, right? That I built over about 11 years, that this is a, no pun intended, a no brainer to be number one to enter, even if you don't win, still to retain them and bring them on, because it's a rounding error. It's anywhere from with discounts of 30%, $999 for their premium, $1699 for their pro, and you get access to 15,000 buyers. Range Me ensures continuous exposure to retail buyers from top retailers like Target, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Publix, Kroger, Costco, Wegmans, H-E-B, Food Line, Giant Foods, Fresh Market, and many, many more. Range Me also is combined with eCRM category sessions to deliver exclusive live in-person events where you can meet directly with leading national and regional retail buyers for curated face-to-face meetings. Ready to elevate your brand? Go to rangeme.com/CPG vibes. And as I mentioned, enter into the contest that we'll be announcing in November, around mid-late November, to win a free premium membership just by entering on that form. Again, no brainer. Wade, I'm going to pass it to you so I can take my breath on this week's sponsor, if you'd like to handle that part.
This week's sponsor. Oh, you surprised me because I was prepared to say something else. Hold on a second. It's going to take me. Well,
Rebel Eats.
I was going to say, and you have that on the sheets, right?
I hope so, but we don't prepare for crap on the show.
I was going to say, I was going to surprise you with something else that I was going to announce, but 1 second. I got to try and find that because I actually closed that window because I have so many other tabs open. I'll get there.
Okay.
We're talking about Rebel Eats, and I think I put the link up a little bit ago, rebeleats.com, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You got it there. And so this is how we tap dance. And usually I do this, Alex, when you have technical difficulties.
Right.
When
I'm mixing it up, and I'm surprised. I see your logo now. You're now logged into the Google Sheets. I see you.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm getting there.
I'm just doing this as a practical joke, just on you.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
right. So, all right.
Yeah.
CPG founders are a unique bunch. If you're a service provider who works with these rebels, that makes you Rebel 2. Rebel Eats might be a place to display that distinction. Rebel Eats is building a place where CPG founders can get exactly the kind of help they need at every stage of the journey. No rabbit holes, no wasted steps. And they're starting with Rebel Eats Provider Network. It's double vetted, meaning they'll want to take a look at your work and speak at least with one CPG founder who will rave about you. There are quite a few places where you can market yourself, but these places aren't very picky. If you have money, they'll take it. For the next few months, Rebel Eats is free. Their goal is to develop a great roster, fine-tune, prove the value to providers and brands, no risk at all. They're looking for pros with expertise in the following categories: accounting and finance, branding, copywriting, design and creative, founders and coaches, fundraising, legal, marketing. We'll talk more about that later. Operations, photography, sales and brokers, social media, web apps, web development. So yeah, there's a lot there to opportunities there at rebeleats.com. So definitely check that out. And Alex, so I have speaking of discounts, speaking of stuff, I haven't even told you about this. This is literally hot off the press. When I say hot off the press, the reason I'm kind of distracted is because I was just getting notification that I could share this. We have this is a worldwide announcement for the first time. V-Driven, who you might be familiar with. Have you ever heard of V-Driven? V-Driven, who I work for, is a gold sponsor for the upcoming Nosh Live event to be held in your backyard in Marina Del Rey. And get this, we have a discount code that we're sharing here for the very first time that you can see there. The link is there. So with that discount code, the regular cost to attend is $13.99. Alex, that price right there, $8.99.
Wow.
Yeah, so save $500 to attend Nosh Live. It's December 5th and 6th in Marina Del Rey at the Marriott there. I went last year on behalf of the Fresh Market, who I was with at the time, but this year I'll be there as a part of the gold sponsorship team of V Driven. Luke will be there. We'll be the host for the Pitch Slam. We'll be doing all sorts of fun stuff. So that's hot off the press. I literally just got the okay to share that. Thus, there it is.
There it is, and Hugh Curtis is like, is there an off the press sound? So here it is.
Yeah, gonna work
There.
on our timing
That's
a
it.
little. We got to work on the timing a little bit, but again, we don't plan for this stuff. And
No,
literally,
I didn't even know. I mean, like, how I kind of sent you for a loop where you're like,
yeah.
I didn't even know I was going to read the weekly sponsor. I didn't even know this announcement was happening until we hopped on. And so I was scrambling to find some kind of sound, and we were looking at the comments, and I was just wanting to shout out Hugh for his great idea to make a little jingle. We got to come up with a jingle of some kind. We should do a CPG Vibes jingle contest. If you have a jingle you want us to use, send it over to us, and we'll send you a photo of me and Wade smiling with a thumbs up. That's what you win.
Well, what's fun about that though is with AI right now, I think anybody that's versed in it, they can do it pretty easily, actually. So we might be surprised. Be careful what you ask for there. So
exactly, we could probably do an AI video of Wade doing a backflip into a WWE wrestling ring.
I like that.
We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that documentary, by the way, about
I
Vince
have.
McMahon? Yeah, so good.
Like 5 or
so
6
good.
parts. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of good just not Netflix documentaries going on. Some of them a little more obviously dark. Other ones are just fun, great stories about building empires, and Vince McMahon and what he's built is just phenomenal. We can have a whole episode just on that. Wrestling Vibes. That's our new podcast we should come out with. But a couple things I want to mention before we get into this week's topic. Number one, we're going to be bringing on someone who is a partner, right? And it's funny, I'm scrambling here too. I think I closed the window. But Peter Jude Ricciardi. So he's with Brand Arctica, right? I'm pronouncing it right. And he is a partner, basically, and a vendor with Rebel Eats. We're going to be bringing him on. Not yet, Peter. I see you turned your camera back on, but around the 30, he's laughing, around the 35 or 40 mark. Just want to give it, and he turned it off again. We can see him, but you can't see him. And
he's trashing the green room, by the way. I've seen he's been throwing TVs and chairs and furniture and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
WWE style, Yeah, the only thing missing is a backflip. He's going to do that for us too. But no, we're bringing him on in about 15, 20 minutes as we get into our topics. And then again, because there's no script, just chat. Wade, I know we have this kind of shit talking back and forth about products that we get, right? That either I get or you get. Maybe have something locked and loaded, but I have a few things really locked and loaded before getting into our topic. Someone spied it with their eye. Melting Forest. Melting Forest. And this is Sean McDonald's, just like McDonald's, right? Like the chain. No relation. But he is a fantastic, phenomenal founder and CEO. He also founded Beyond CBD, which is a multi-million-dollar business. So he has the chops, he has the expertise, and he's a pro at building CPG brands. And so this is their. They sent me 3 boxes. Okay, I mean, Premier, they're a sponsor of our show, but he sent this out of the goodness of his own heart. I'm sharing with my friends and my family, my neighbors. This is the functional mushroom de-stress, which we all need. One, and they have other ones for energy and mushroom energy, but this one's the de-stress line. Watermelon elderflower, and it is absolutely delicious. I mean, this has reishi in it. It has the beta glucan, which is a functional herb, organic lion's mane. It has L-theanine, fruit and vegetable juice for color. So they use this natural fruit and vegetable juice for the color. Rhodiola extract, lemon balm extract, and vitamin B6. And they have a little stevia in here, not too much. Phenomenal taste. You've had Melting Forest, right, Wade, at some point?
I believe I have. I couldn't swear to it, but we'll say yes. We'll say yes. But Alex, it's irrelevant because they're dead to me because they didn't send me anything. So yeah, you're gonna have to tout them. But that's okay. That's all right. No, we're
we'll I'm gonna send a little text over to Sean now be careful what you ask for because it may fill up your front porch. Just letting you know.
Well,
there'll be no room for someone even walk in your house after he sends you the boxes. But no, Sean will get something out to you, I'm sure. And he's at a lot of events this weekend. So that's that. And the other one that two more, and I get what you. I know we were spending a lot of time on this. They sent another pack for me because we're just crushing through these. Suburban Life, and by the way, Melting Forest has a Start Engine crowdfunding campaign. I forgot to mention that, and they're at 20,000. They just launched a week ago. I'm consulting them, so make sure to Google Start Engine Melting Forest. They're exploding. They're going to be, I think, tripling their revenue this year over year, and you can invest as an equity holder and actually own equity in a fast-growing functional mushroom drink and gummies and other functional items. They have 3 different lines, and you can invest on Start Engine under Melting Forest for a very reasonable valuation. Suburban Life. This is the you didn't get this either, right? They didn't send this to you.
No,
they're just you're out, I guess, from the circle of
no, they're out.
Oh, they're out. They're out.
They're out.
Okay, that's the way to phrase it. So I need to get them back into our circle of trust. I'm going to have Suburban Life send you some product. I think you and Renee are going to love it. 6-year barrel aged bourbon in a canned, non-carbonated cocktail with real fruit juice in it. 5% ABV. Suburbanlife.com. And it's spelled suburban like bourbon. Get it? So that's cool.
Love it.
And sorry. Last, I'm just piling this on, aren't I? Mucuna Choco protein powder from the Andes, 14,000 feet up in the Andes Mountains. This is the new functional plant-based protein. So,
I don't have that.
I don't think you missed that one though. I don't think you missed that. Maybe.
What I will do, Alex, since you had to show me all the things that I don't have, let's see. I will show you something that I know you don't have, and that is one of our clients.
I was going to make a really funny joke. You're like, what you don't have? I'm like, a bald head like you?
Whole Harmony. And this, I've been drinking these things. In fact, this is my last one. I had to refrain from actually drinking this last one because this is my last one. I had it ready last week. We got a little busy and I couldn't talk too much about it. But this is a fantastic product. I touted their teas previously. And this is their new product. Is just starting to hit stores, and our sales team is aggressively working on this. But it's organic. And chakra. Do you know what a chakra is, Alex?
Yeah, chakra is basically a point in your body. There's different chakras from up and down that help different parts of your body to open up energy points. It's like energy points.
According to the website and in our sales sheet, chakras are little wheels of energy located along the base of the spine to the top of the head. And Whole Harmony has bottled the essence of each chakra into these balancing botanical beverages. So again, it's organic, absolutely delicious. And I'm not just saying that because they're a client; they really, really are. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6, 7 flavors. And each one of them is kind of named differently. This particular one that I have in my hand is pineapple chamomile, and it's the solar plexus chakra. And absolutely delicious. So I know you don't have those. So at least now I can say I had something. I showed something that you didn't. So
and they're out of my circle of trust because they didn't send me anything. So I now know the pain that you've been going through, Wade.
There you
go. I
now
know it.
There you go.
I feel left out. I feel kind of sad. But you have their information. Can you do an intro so I can get some of their products? Because that sounds right up my alley. Being the hipster LA guy over here.
I was going to say, I might be able to do that. I might know a person that can arrange that for you. Yep.
And they're V-driven? Are they a V-driven?
Yes, they are. We're selling their teas. We're selling their botanicals. We're selling their chakras. Great team behind it. In fact, I believe later in November, Alex, one of the founders is going to be in your area, just blitzing. In fact, I think she's staying there for several months, if I'm not mistaken, going to be blitzing Southern California with demos, founder demos, and just really working hard to get the product going. But I think you've heard it here first. Whole Harmony. You'll be hearing more of them, I'm sure. So unique product and fantastic team behind it.
Awesome. Hopefully they're blitzing my doorstep with samples. That too. let's go. We'll get that going. But congratulations! It sounds like they're onto some early success. And what better place to start your brand and to really grow it than Southern California, right? That's where the
Absolutely.
chakra is like a word used in every other sentence out here in California. So, cool. All right. So now that we're 25 minutes into our episode here, shall we go into our topic?
We probably
Everyone's been waiting
should.
for.
We
Okay.
probably should. I mean, if
We
anybody's
have
still here, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we're not dropping viewers here from just going off topic and talking about whatever. No script, just chat, guys. I mean, and gals, you got to be prepared for that. Okay, so let's go into our topics here, which is maximizing ROI and minimizing spending in CPG. I'm going to start it out just with some general statements. Okay. If you're a small brand, don't try to spend money in areas that are more on a national level, right? If you're trying to go on billboards, if you're trying to do a lot of ads online or whatever, YouTube ads, like don't spend money in areas where if people see your product, they're not able to get it anywhere and everywhere. So I think that's like a key mistake that a lot of brands make is they get billboards, they get trucks and all these things, which has its place in time, but only when you're more on a national level. The other things that I see is being really careful with activations and events. Events are expensive, right? And we were talking about this, Wade, through text, and we won't mention any names or anything like that. But there's organizations where, if you're at a certain level, it makes sense to spend that kind of money. But most brands are not at that level to be dropping $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for, special sponsorship booths or events. Now, if you're aggressively growing and you have the capital and you're wanting to double down in a certain area, whether it's SoCal, New York, then it might be worth it, right, for that general awareness. But typically, most brands, especially emerging brands, don't have $10,000, $20,000 sitting around. And that's capital that you desperately need for production, for inventory, for hiring salespeople, for doing promotions in stores, right? Really key things to drive direct growth and velocity. So I think just being careful with event activations and not getting, I'm going to use the word kind of going on an ego trip, a vanity project. You've probably seen founders that have done this, and it's a big misstep is they, overspend in areas out of vanity to say, well, I want to look good. I want to look bigger than I really am. I want to puff my chest up. And you end up overspending and not getting the exposure necessary. But you need to spend money to make money. You need to spend money to get awareness. So there are certain events, if they fit in with your brand, are worth spending money on if you're able to get a lot of new customers and grow your brand. So that's kind of the starting point I wanted to go off of. But wait, what do you think?
No, I think it's a good one, and I know we've already done all our plugs and whatnot, but it's worth revisiting from a standpoint of many times there are ways that you can save some money with referrals or things like that, whether it's an an introduction or something like that. We mentioned the discount for Range Me. I just mentioned the discount for Nosh Live that with V Driven. I mean, that's literally saving. Doing the math quick, almost a third off the price. And so you're spot on though as far as how to spend. And when we're coaching clients and talking about where to attend and whatnot, oftentimes the advice is just show up at the area at for example Expo West, right? You're not crawl, walk, run. You're not ready to exhibit. Maybe you're not even ready to pay for attendance to walk the floor, but you can be in the area, attend some of the other events and or a dinner or something like that, and just ease into things before you just dive full blown in and write a check for five digits or so to exhibit that you haven't spent. And it's something, as we look at ROI, that's something, again, I feel like this is going to be an ongoing commercial for V Driven. Luke, I'm going to send you a bill. But an ROI calculator from a standpoint of what does the cost of business look like for, and I'm going to pick on your backyard, Alex, but for Southern California, a lot of those retailers, you're going to hear words like free fills and slotting and things like that. So what does that look like? And taking it a step further, going back, personally with me into my old company, looking from a standpoint of what does a free fill or I'm sorry, rewind. What does doing business with a company like the Fresh Market look like? An expectation of a free fill there for 160 stores plus, they're opening new ones. Are you ready for that? And I had this conversation with a potential client today. Is looking at it, if that's your target, you have to do the math on one free case per SKU per store and start multiplying out. And so when you fill that out and you agree, oh yeah, that's where I want to be in, well, do the math and be careful what you wish for, because if your case is $20, depending on the count and the product, obviously, you're not only going to have enough cash to initially uh supply from a supply chain, from a packaging, all those things to take care of that first fill. You're not going to get paid. You have to wait for the second PO to come in, right? And then you have to wait for them to receive the second PO and the terms and all those things. So you're looking at a pretty long runway before you're actually going to see money coming in from a distribution that you've acquired, and you have to be prepared for that. So I think understanding that spending and being very strategic with where you go from accounts and things like that, it's not just you can have these great dreams of wanting to go to some of these big names, but if you haven't done the homework and or have a partner like someone like us at V Driven or other, it or a friend in the business that can help you understand what the cost looks like, it's pretty crazy. And and those aren't going away anytime soon. So I think everyone needs to be well educated before they say, oh yeah, I want to get in Sprouts, I want to get in the Fresh Market, I want to get in here.
Mhm.
There's a cost of doing that you have to be prepared for.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, very, very well said. And one thing I will note is that if you're expecting to get free fills, right, whether it's with Whole Foods, Sprouts, or anyone else, it's always wise to go down to a 6-pack versus an 8-pack, or a 6-pack versus a 12-pack, so that if they do one case per store, your case is 6. It'd be awesome to have a case of like one. My case is only one bottle, right? And that's a nice free fill of one bottle, but no one's going to want that. It's a joke. But yeah, six pack versus 12-pack if you're a newer brand. And also, if you're a newer brand, you don't want retailers to be forced to order a 12-pack, a 24-pack, a 36-pack. It's a big misstep that a lot of brands make, where they do bigger pack sizes to save per can or bottle, right? Because it's extrapolated out on 12 bottles. If you order a corrugate, it's 12. It's spread across 12 instead of 6. But you're forcing retailers to take on more inventory, more in the back, more filling up more storage, and also putting more on the shelf, which is a problem if you're not a big brand. Now, if you're someone like Lemon Perfect or Olipop or a big brand, it's okay to have a 12-pack or 24, because you're going through that volume and you're churning velocity. One thing, again, I really just got to go back to it, and I fell in this trap too, as a previous co-founder, right, of a CPG brand doing millions in revenue, is separating the ego, right? I keep saying that, but separating the ego and not getting too caught up in how do we look, and it's a vanity project, and oh man, look at that retailer. I can't, if we're in 3,000 stores or 2,000 stores, that would be amazing. That would look so great. But you have to look at the economics, the cost economics to doing that level of business, the free fills, the slotting fees, hiring salespeople, hiring merchandisers. Are you really going to get a return when you're launching in so many stores and you have so much overhead in order to support that? Wouldn't it be better to go to 50 to 100 stores locally in your area, or 300 stores in your area, and hire one salesperson, or have you as the founder going out there and checking some of these stores? You're going to be really minimizing your expenses. And then also you're going to be maximizing it, because now you're working with local DSD. You're working with local DSDs like High Touch or Rainforest or Rock Island or Good Stuff up in NorCal. There's so many of these guys that they don't have chargebacks. They have a higher margin, but there's no chargeback. So now you're saving more money in the long term, because you know how much the chargeback, you know how much the margin's going to be, and there's no surprises. So these are all things that emerging brands, they step into this, they make mistakes, they go too big too soon. It goes all back to crawl, walk, run, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make you keep that lens on right now, as far as what you just said, using your prior experience and certainly, you can contribute to this. But Jeff Connor has a question on here, and Jeff, or I'm sorry, Mark Connor. I'm seeing Jeff Lukowski's brand article on there, but Mark Connor is with Rootberry. He is I believe, the CEO and founder, if I'm not mistaken. But he has a question about how do you know when you're ready to exhibit at Expo West? And Rootberry is a plant-based company. Their tagline on their website says whole foods, real ingredients, 100% plant-based, allergen friendly. Mark is the co-founder and president. Alex, with your prior experience, how would you answer that question? When are you ready to exhibit at Expo West from your experience?
Yeah, which is, I think, a really great question, Mark. And I just connected with you on LinkedIn. I'm looking at your profile right now. Good stuff. Rootberry, and you're in St. Louis. So um, there's a few rules of thumb, okay? Because we can go for 20 or 30 minutes, on this topic, which we don't have time for. Is you want to have runway of at least about 18 months. Number one, you want to have cash flow and runway for 18 months so that
and hold, I'm gonna pause you for a second, and I might do this a
yes,
couple times because I want to dig into everything that you say here to answer the question and give more insight. So when you say
sure.
runway for 18 months, and we're going to talk about specifically about Expo West, define what runway is from your standpoint. Like, is that all encompassing with marketing, with packaging, with everything? How do you define runway for 18 months? What does that look like?
Yeah, basically the money in your bank for you to do all the normal operations you do, which is production, marketing, personnel, promotions, all the incidental fees. You're going to have the slotting fees and the warehousing fees and everything combined, all encumbered. That cash, again, with cash flow, even laying money out, right, for productions and raw materials, that will last you 18 months. So if that
Good.
makes sense. So
Yep. No, that's great.
so that's really important because when you go to Expo West, hopefully you close some business. You get a new retailer, you get a new partner. You might hire a new broker if you meet someone there. You have that capital to take advantage of your growth. You have that capital. So if Publix or Fresh Time or Fresh Market or Whole Foods or Sprouts says, you know what? I tried your product. I love it. Bring it into 400 stores, 1,000 stores. Now you have the money to not only produce the product, but also support it. So Expo West is great. You can give yourself a pat on the back for being there and having a booth. But if you cannot take advantage of the growth opportunities, what the hell is the point of being there?
Well, and so there's a couple of pieces I want to just tag on to there. You hit it well. The other thing I would say is, remember, it's not necessarily a buying show. It's more of a show and tell what's next, and it's more of a not a glamorous. It's a great networking opportunity and whatnot, but you're not getting there and then an order that you're going to ship the next week, and it's important to understand that because there are certainly buying shows where people are aggressively taking orders and things like this. That's not necessarily what Expo does. The other thing that I would say with that, Mark, is as far as understanding, kind of going with what Alex said is from a runway perspective and having be careful what you ask for, because if you, again, going back to, if you get that account that's interested, potentially, are you prepared? Can you whether it's finances, whether it's raw materials, whether it's packaging, are you ready for a 400 or 500 store chain to say, yes, I want your product? And so it's, again, that crawl, walk, and run mentality where, just if you're ready to take on and you can turn on overnight with all the triggers or all the levers we talked about with supply chain, with finances, with raw materials, with packaging and everything. If you could turn that on and be ready to ship that much out and supply 500 stores, then so be it. But otherwise, you shouldn't be calling on them until you have the capability of doing so. It's okay to make the connection and learn more about the process, but if you can't do those things, you probably want to take care of your backyard or a smaller account and prove some data and velocity and have a story to tell so that you can build your way up to a larger account.
Exactly right. I know we're going to bring on our sponsor partner here in just a minute or two. That's a Peter Jude Ricciardi. But it's scary that I've been to Expo and I've talked to brands where they're like, this is almost the last of my money. And this is a Hail Mary. I mean, you've heard these stories, right?
Yeah.
Just walking around and they're like, we need to get a big account. We need to get this account or that account. And I'm like, why do you need that account? Oh, because we need to show more revenue. Why do you need to show more revenue? This is me talking to the founder. Because we need to raise more money. So we need to show revenue to raise more money. But I'm like, but what if you actually get the account? How the hell are you going to pay for it? Well, we're going to get the account, go to the investor, say, hey, we got this big account. We need the money. Wire us the money. And then we're going to go pay for the run. It's like, that is so dangerous. Number one, because you could run out of money, right? Number two, if a retailer says yes and you do not come through, you are so screwed as far as your relationship with them, where they're not going to trust you for a very, very long time. And I'm talking 2, 3, you coming from the buying side, Wade, it's a tremendous amount of work to make room for a brand. It's a tremendous amount of work to say yes and start planning for those SKUs to come in the store with resets and all the administrative and all the people that are involved. So if you say yes at the show and then a month later you email a buyer, let's say like Wade in the past, saying, Wade's a very nice guy, but when it comes to this, you're probably not nice, because it would piss you off. Like, I did all this work to make room for your brand. I love your brand. I scouted it out. I talked to you at Expo West. And now you're saying you can't supply me? Like, not only are you out, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 or 3 years, because there's plenty of brands in line that want to come in. So,
and the opposite side of that is I had a fantastic, very, very similar conversation with a potential client earlier today with regards to where they were. And they had a conversation with some larger retailers. I can't tell you the one specifically, not because I don't want to, but I can't recall who it was. But they had the right mindset of what I would want if I put my buyer's hat, category manager, vice president, whatever it was. If I put that hat on, they had the right mentality, and that was, we'd love to take your business, but we're just not there yet. And this is why, we're working on this and this and this. And I just about fell out of my seat. And I said, I respect that so much, because so often exactly what you just said is what the answer is. Meaning, you get the cart before the horse. Oh yeah, I could be in Sprouts, or I could be in the fresh market, or wherever it is. And you want that business, and you haven't gone through all those steps that we've already talked about. And they do probably in most cases burn bridges from a standpoint of, they send half the PO, and then don't even get me down the deduction road and all that stuff that goes with not shipping the full. But quite simply, they can't fulfill their end of the bargain. And in that case, if you know that you're not ready, it's better to say up front, and it will be respected and honored by, I know Kenny's in here, Gavin's in here, with regards to, you'd rather have that conversation ahead of time and say, thank you, but we can't right now, and so on, and keep that relationship good, as opposed to jumping off the ledge and they're not being a safety net underneath you. So
exactly right. I want to mention 2 other things, because I know we keep delaying bringing on our weekly sponsor, but very, very important things. I got a shout out back to the Melting Forest team, right into Sean McDonald. They have their fundraising going on Start Engine. It's startengine.com/offering/melting forest. I say that not as a sponsorship, because they're not sponsoring this show, but because I love what they're doing. And they're very smart in how they spend their money. Like, that's what I love about their management team, because Sean's been around the block and done this, where he's doing specific events in specific areas of the country where the product is selling. And that's what I love. So when the customers try it, they'll go directly to the stores to buy it. And he also goes to a lot of these networking events and shows that are not that expensive, maybe a couple $1,000 or $1,000, which is a rounding error for most brands. And he's making connections and networking. And that's why his sales are exponentially growing, and that, and then also heading to profitability. So I love what Melting Forest is doing, and I just wanted to shout that out. The other thing I will say is I've mentioned Coconut Cult for a long time on the show, at least a month or two, but they built their online business by sending to micro influencers that didn't charge a fucking dime for the product. Like they basically, or for the promotion, I should say. These are people that just love your product, are obsessed and devout. And if you get your product that they love and you send it to them once a month or once every 2 months, when they mention it on social media, and I'm not a social media pro, that's my disclaimer, but I know enough about it to where if they're passionate about it and they mention it, it's going to resonate with their followers and they're going to buy it. So don't spend a lot of money on influencers unless it's really strategic and very aligned, because I've seen a lot of brands blow money, not get the ROI, and spend a tremendous amount of money on influencers. So I like Coconut Cult. They send it out to influencers. zero cost except for the shipping and the product, and they've been able to grow organically that way.
Great. Well, I'm excited to bring on our guest, Alex, and he's been waiting patiently. Our
Very patiently.
green room is in shambles. All the food's gone. All the drinks are gone. The wallpaper's been torn up. But you want to bring him in now?
Let's do that. So, Peter, sorry because I know we started late, but we're going to bring him on. So, he is with Brand Artica, and to read about them, if I can find it, there it is. That's a full service creative agency. It looks like he's preparing early for a holiday coming up. So we're going to bring him on. This is a first for our show.
Yeah, Peter's the founder and chief creative officer. Yeah.
Actually, hi. Guys, I just want to, one complaint. I think I drank something in the green room that fucked up my chakras.
I like that. That looks like Terrifier. Is that Terrifier?
I don't know, but I mean, it's a lot to wear for 30 minutes. But
that's right.
Yeah, boy. Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. Appreciate it.
It's great to have you. And we've got Peter's partner, Jeff Lutkovsky, is in the chat. He's the partner and COO at Brand Artica. So tell us about the coup. I like that. Tell us. And Peter and I were talking, Alex, before you joined, before the show started. He's got a great background, but he's got a radio voice, if you couldn't tell already. He actually has a radio face too. But tell us a little bit about Brand Artica. I know we want to also talk about Rebel Eats, but tell us about Brand Artica.
Oh, sure. Brand Artica is a full-service creative agency. We, specialize in CPG and product marketing, graphic design, web development, the whole gamut, from marketing strategy, identity for brands, content production, social media marketing. For us, what's really special is because of Jeff's background. Hey, Jeff, and my background at Disney. We bring something, we really try to think creatively and maintain a sharp focus on business strategy, which in a lot of instances, you may get one, but you may have to go somewhere else for the other, and vice versa. So for us, it all boils down to making sure that we're bringing both sides of that to the table for clients. We are located in New Hampshire, up in the Northeast. And it's a beautiful day outside, and we're just super happy to be here. I'm super happy to be here, and Jeff's out there in the crowd, networking and making moves. And very, very grateful to Rebel Eats for letting us come on and take this space.
Awesome. And then tell us a little more about, with you and Rebel Eats, what you've done with them, and how you've been able to get the name out about your company, about your service. Like, give us a kind of a case study of how you've worked with them.
Sure. I mean, they have been fabulously flexible and accessible, easy to work with, really understanding of our questions, especially coming into a platform like that, and giving us the time to sort of futz around, if you will, in their platform. So really what Rebel Eats is all about is making it easier for, people that are in a CEO or a founder or an owner position for CPG products to find, vetted service providers, creative partners, I would say, who have experience, who have viable experience and connections to that exact industry. I find that this is what's great about Rebel Eats. You could run across in your search of looking for an agency or a marketing firm, a provider, who everyone always says, "Oh yeah, we do that." But that's not always the truth. And to have some experience in that space means a lot. And especially because what you guys are talking about is when you have maybe limited experience or limited budget, and you're really trying to get the most out of it, to make the right moves at the right time, you want to have a creative partner that understands that part of it and knows how to help guide you through it. So they have created this platform where you can go in and really cherry pick and shop for what you're looking for, most importantly, not what you're looking for, but you can meet these people directly rather than going through a bazillion LinkedIn conversations. And you can find out, you can meet them, talk to them, and find out if they're the right partner for you. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
So Peter, tell me, Rebel Eats, and Brand Arctica, what is there a wheelhouse, from a sweet spot with regards to you at Brand Arctica and Jeff and the clients that is it a certain level? Is there if you were looking for someone that this person can use Brand Arctica, what does that profile look like for customer acquisition for you? What kind of brands or space are you working with?
Yep. For us, and I know for both Jeff and I, as a unit and personally, just, I'm always willing to talk to founders and owners about their current situation, because I know how many people helped me when I knew nothing about the industry I wanted to get into. So it's always a pleasure to just sort of be available to people, to just have a quick chat, get to know each other. The more cool, creative, and fun people that want to do great things in the world that get to meet each other and connect, the better the world will be. And I think we can all agree that we really could use a heck of a lot of that right now. For us at Brand Arctica, we've never really pigeonholed our agency into we're only financial, or we're only this, or we're only that. My background at Disney allows me the opportunity to tell many different stories in many different ways. So sort of wearing different skins, if you will, and not in a creepy Hannibal Lecter, Buffalo Bill manner, in a safe way.
Cool.
So
and one thing I'll mention too, I know we have a couple minutes
Go for
left here, is the integration. I think Rebel Eats and their timing is really good because brands are more strapped than ever, right? It's either like a brand is, flush with cash, right? And you raise $30 million, or you're struggling just to last another 3 to 6 months. So Rebel Eats does provide, like you said, the cherry picking and the variety, what services they offer, what price are they at, how do they stack up against the competition? And then most importantly, I mean, the one thing that I'll just double down on, pun intended, is the double vetting, right? Where when someone goes on and they see you, they're not just seeing what you do and what you've accomplished. They're seeing that other real companies and founders have worked with you and they're raving about you. And that really goes a long way because, in the old days, and we still do this sometimes, that, most times someone hires you or hires a company, they hear about you from someone else, right? They don't just find you off the yellow pages, right? They hear about you. They heard the job you've done. You get personally referred, and they're more likely to work with you, right? Because of that.
Exactly. And just to dovetail on that last thought was that for us, we work exceptionally well with brands that want to be noticed. Brands that really want to take some risks and get out there and do something different. The world, as we say on our website, is not waiting for more of the same thing. Rebel Eats is exactly that. So I would encourage anybody that's listening, if you know a service provider or a freelancer who you think would benefit and be beneficial to other owners and brands, you can go to nominate@rebeleats.com and put their name out there so that they can get notification and become a part of this community.
Love it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. And I also, Peter, I put a link up in the chat here for you have your own podcast with Jeff, and it's called it's called 1/7 the podcast, a series of questionable questions. And to find it on, make sure you listen to what I tell you here. It's the number 1/7, the word seventh, and that's together. There's no space in between. So it's 1/7 the podcast, and you can hear more from yourself and Jeff, and you usually do 20-30 minutes topical, and I'm sure everybody would like to check that out.
Yeah, simplest thing you could do is type in 1 the number and 7th the word.com, and you'll land there. Find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever fantastic podcasts are heard. Are you guys doing a prize today? Because I think we had something special.
We are doing a prize. And by the way, we're going to give you 5 stars on your podcast.
I already did, by the way.
So I'll do it too. And then all we ask, Peter, is that you give us 5 stars back on CPG Vibes.
Will do. Will do. And if you're going to do that, you let me know. If you want me to do this now, I can show you. If we're going to do a prize today, I've got a preview of what that could be.
Sure. You got the podcast voice, so we're going to let you run with it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I don't know how we're doing it or what the question will be. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Yep.
But let's see. These are New Hampshire Coffee Roasting Company coffees, freshly roasted. These are whole bean, high quality, unbelievably delicious coffees. They're a client of ours. I'm just saying, for those of you who are coming from a place, this is where they started. And this is where they are.
Nice.
And, fantastic people. They do a great job. And like everyone else that's on this call, they started somewhere. They inherited a business that had already existed. And they've got a variety of coffees. And it's just superb to work with a group of people like this who are fun. They get it. They're passionate. They're driven, and they care about what they're doing. So right now we're in the phase where I just showed you the brand new packaging that we developed and designed with them, a whole new brand identity we developed with them. And we're going to give away, I think, 2 to 3 bags of coffee.
Yeah, I have it here. So it's going to be a 3-pack of 12-ounce coffees from New Hampshire Coffee Company. So I guess it's a 3-pack of the 12 ounce. So is that one prize or 3? I just want to make sure we get it right.
One prize.
One and a 3-pack. Okay.
Yeah, let's make it a 1 prize 3-pack. That way, whoever gets it, they could give it away for a holiday. They can get all caffeinated up or not, because decaf too.
Yeah.
But they've got a great selection of coffees from flavored to medium roast, light roast, and dark roasts.
Love it.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
Awesome. And you can get caffeinated for Halloween while wearing the costume that you just showed us.
I've got a Halloween bash to go to tonight, so I'm super stoked about it.
Right on.
I can see that. I could definitely, I got that. So I'm going to make this question because again, we love our sponsors. Obviously we have Range Me, right? rangeme.com/CPG vibes, 15,000 buyers access there. We also have My Way. I know we're running short on time. My Way 3PL, they're a logistics solutions provider. They analyze and see all the pain points. If you're a very small brand looking to grow and you want to start with 1 pallet, 10 pallets, truckloads, or more, they help you go from small to large or from large to even larger. Go to myway3pl.com/CPG vibes. But sponsors we love, the brand, again, I'm mentioning them a few times because Sean sent me this can, is Melting Forest. So this question is going to be tied in to Melting Forest. So what are they at right now on their Start Engine page as far as how much have they raised? So you got to go there. You got to go to this. You got to go to
like a race. This is like a race.
So the server's going to
like that movie. This is like that movie Rat Race, Alex. It's what I feel like. It's one of my favorite movies, by the way.
It's a good one.
It's terrible, but it's great at the same time.
It's about, the classic, there's a treasure and everyone's killing themselves to find it, right? That one?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's what's happening right now. You're probably going to break the internet.
I'm disqualified, as Jeff says.
Well, for anybody that doesn't win, they can always go and order in the e-commerce page and get themselves their own copy.
There we go.
So while we're waiting for that, Peter.
And one thing I want to mention, it needs to be the exact amount. So it has to be the money with the cents. It's an exact amount. It's 7 digits or 7 numbers. You Google Start Engine, Melting Forest, and then you can go to their Start Engine. On the right side has how much they have raised. Hugh Curtis got it. There it is. He got it.
Oh, he won last time I was here.
He's won every other time, I think. He's setting records here. So, and by the way, if you like to be an equity investor, you just click that button, get equity, boom, put in a credit card, ACH. I think the minimum investment is $250, and you could be an investor in Melting Forest. So anyway, with all that said, Hugh has won the 3-pack of it's called New Hampshire Coffee, right?
New Hampshire Coffee Roasting Company.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay. So you were going to say something.
Yeah. All I was going to say is, so Peter, Rebel Eats obviously is one way that our audience can get a hold of you. Brand Arctica, I put the link up previously. And then, of course, connect on LinkedIn. Anything we missed that our audience should know or reach out to you?
Feel free to follow us on any of our social platforms. We are all up inside that LinkedIn on a daily basis. If many of you have probably already heard from us, and if you haven't, please reach out to us. We love talking to people. We love hearing from creatives and business owners, and anything we can do to help, that's what we're here for. So yeah, no, that's it. I greatly appreciate both you, Alex and Wade. Thank you for having me on. Thanks to the team at Rebel Eats for letting us come in and talk on their behalf today. I don't think I destroyed their company as many waged money thinking I would, but this has just been a blast, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate you being on the show, and keep kicking ass.
Absolutely, sir.
Enjoy your Halloween party tonight.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
All right. And by the way, I think he hit it out of the park.
He's awesome.
which is a reference. He's awesome. Love Rebel Eats. Love our sponsorship with them. But hitting out of the park. Why am I referencing that? Since I'm in Los Angeles, why am I referencing that?
Oh, I think you got a little baseball thing going on.
Baseball thing.
I was going to say the two richest teams in the league. I've got a little. I'm actually rooting for your team, your local team, because the Yankees beat my Guardians. So I'm not happy about that whatsoever. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But anyways, yeah, World Series starts, right?
Yep, it is tonight at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're all excited. It is Dodger Mania. It is Dodger Mania out here, as you can imagine. I mean, I'm seeing LA blue everywhere, LA Dodgers hats everywhere, Ohtani jerseys everywhere. I mean, this is, and then what was also beautiful is Fernando Valenzuela, right, which is, Hall of Famer, just with the LA Dodgers. He just passed away. And so all over LA, there's tributes to him and banners over the freeways. And so it's, the timing of it is, just serendipitous. And serendipitous is the wrong word, but it's a coincidental timing that the LA is going to the World Series. He just passed away, this legend, and there's really a light being shined on him for what he accomplished in his career, because there's a light on the Dodgers. So it's beautiful to see that, to recognize his career. And I remember watching him as a kid. He was awesome. So with all that said, we're going to talk about next week here and what's coming up. Go Dodgers. Yep. Hell yeah. So let's go to it. Let's see. So next week, we got a pretty good show here. It's going to be the Expert Series, Volume 4, TikTok, Instagram marketing. So we were just talking about how to, kind of to toggle how much you're spending on there and to get max ROI. They're going to be talking about all things TikTok, Instagram. It's our Expert Series, Volume 4, with Mark Ross. And Mark Ross is with, I'm gonna screw this up, so let me get it right, with Consort Social. And he's actually, it's interesting, he's out of Scotland and in the United Kingdom, and generate $100,000 a month for your D2C brand with TikTok Shop. So he's an expert on TikTok Shop. I actually saw some of his content, Wade, on LinkedIn. I was so impressed by it, and brands have made so much money from following his advice that I just said, what the hell? Let's bring this guy on the show. I've never met him before, never talked to him before, only on LinkedIn. And that's how we do it on this show, is we just bring it. Come on in. Why not? Right? It's a party. The other person that's joining us is Adam Brown, who is no stranger to the show. And he is the CEO and founder of Circle Media, which is a premier creative agency for social media. And we all love Adam. So there you go. He can do some of that AI stuff to represent us, right? He can generate our images even without our consent. That's how great that guy is at creative. So again, thank you to our sponsors, right? We have our weekly sponsor, which is Rebel Eats, and also Brand Artica, which is a vendor partner of Rebel Eats. And then we also have our ongoing sponsors, which is Range Me and My Way 3PL. We have the links up there. If you'd like to rewatch the show, you can either do it two ways, right? I'll say one way, Wade, you can say the other. One way is that you can do it right here with this link on LinkedIn Live. And what's the other way?
Yeah, as soon as we push stop here, I'll get to work to have it on YouTube live within an hour. Not live. You'll have to actually go to the page, which is, I'll put the link up here as soon as I can. But yeah, you'll be able to see it on YouTube, as well as, I think this episode, if I'm not mistaken, will be the 100th episode that is live on LinkedIn. We still have a few extras to get up there, and we're working on that. But right now, this will be the 100th episode that is loaded on YouTube. So check it out. And there's the link for the YouTube page. You actually have to put the little @ in front of CPG Vibes, or just search for CPG Vibes to find the page.
I'm going to go to YouTube corporate next week to say, can you please remove the freaking @ from our address? I'm going to be banging on the front door protesting, because I see other channels that don't have it, but we have it. So I'm wondering what's going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Figure it out. So we'll see you next week, same place, same time, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern. I got out of my jury duty. I thought maybe I would miss the episode next week, but I don't have to report the jury duty. Thank God. And everyone take care. Go Dodgers for anyone that's in LA or fans. And we'll see you next week right here on CPG Vibes. Take care, everyone.